When we look at overall investing and the financial mosaic of diversifying within and amongst asset classes, including alternatives, REITs always pop up. So today we're going to talk about, should I invest in a REIT and what that would actually look like. And before I do that, let's get into a simple definition from Investopedia, which is a real estate investment trust is a tool that pools the capital from numerous investors to invest in properties. This makes it possible for individual investors to earn dividends from real estate investments without having to buy, manage, or finance any properties themselves. So let's talk about what that looks like. If I'm Mary and I want to go buy a piece of property in Nebraska, and I live in New Jersey, it's really hard for me to do that unless I have a team around me. But if I'm Mary and I want to be able to buy properties all across America, but have experts or what I believe to be experts that can take all these properties and put them together, sacrifice upside, but at the same time be able to take advantage of a pool of these different pieces of real estate, that's something I may consider. And Mary may not consider it, but Joe would. At the end of the day, it's a diverse offering. So properties in a REIT portfolio, here we go, not just single family homes or double family homes. It's going to include apartment complexes, data centers, healthcare facilities, hotels, infrastructure in the form of fiber cables, cell towers, energy pipelines, office buildings, retail centers, self-storage, timberland, and warehouses. As such, they could be used to diversify amongst many economic sectors. So what I just talked about is overall investing. We want to diversify within and amongst asset classes. Now, this is an asset class. Now we're diversifying within that asset class on a very, very narrow level, right? So that's all the different kind of real estates that are out there. So check this out. Performance against stocks. Time period, we're going to go S&P 500, and we're going to compare it to the FTSE Nareit All Equity REITs. Basically, it's an index when it comes to REITs. From 1972 to 2019, the S&P averaged 12.1%. The FTSE was 13.3. The last 25 years, 11.9 to the S&P, 12.6 to the FTSE. The last 20 years, 7.7 to the S&P, 13.3 to the FTSE. So let's stop. The last 20 years, right now it's 2022. Take 20 years off, that's 2002, which is after 9/11. Yeah. The real estate market, I know we had some challenges in 08, but did pretty good during that time, right? Last 10 years, we go 14% on the S&P, 10% on the FTSE. Last but not least, the last 5 years, 12% on the S&P, 12.5, 9 on the FTSE. Why am I breaking this down? First of all, understand the sequence of returns rate risk, which is specifically tied to a time frame that's tied to your age and your economic dynamics. Get good with that so you understand behavioral finance. But with that, similar to stocks, you could also invest in an individual REIT or a REIT index. REIT indices have a long history of comparable returns to the stock market, while the S&P has had slightly better returns in recent years, which we just talked about. REITs have a strong overall yield since 1972. Why is that important? Anyone that thinks you're going to achieve overnight success, don't let them in your house. They're lying to you. They're going to rob your jewelry. I'm not saying over a 5-year period, you can't go from here to here with the right mindset and the right team. If I made mistakes in the 2000s to 2010 to 2015, but I learned from that, that means from today over the next 5 years, if I have the right team around me and I don't make the same mistakes twice, my wealth could turbocharge. And that's here for you, once again, if you have the right team around you. So here's some of the advantages. Well, they are liquid. Wait a minute, Rob. I remember in 2008, I had a REIT and it wasn't liquid. No, it's not that it wasn't liquid, it was that you spent $500,000 on it and they were only willing to give you $200,000. But there's always someone out there that's going to buy it, right? The dividends provide cash flow, don't have to own or manage the assets. So like I said, Mary had that property in Nebraska. I think I said Nebraska. She doesn't have to manage it from New Jersey, because when you own a REIT, you don't have to do any of that stuff. Competitive return with the stock market, absolutely. Non-correlated asset adds diversification to a portfolio. The answer is yes. I mean, whenever you have an un or a non-correlated asset in a portfolio, it's always going to give you that balance that's necessary along the way. Here's the disadvantage. Market risk, yes. Can include high fees, absolutely. So you always want to do a lost opportunity cost on those high fees. Dividends taxed as regular income. I don't think you could depreciate this as well like you can with an individual piece of real estate that you own. Lower returns than investing in real estate yourself. Well, yeah, because if I'm going to go out there and buy a piece of investment property, with my own money. I'm doing it for 4 reasons. Number 1 is cash flow. That's one rate of return. Number 2 is depreciate the asset. Number 3 is a mortgage interest write-off. And number 4, I'm buying it today, so in the future it's going to be higher. Those are 4 rates of returns. That doesn't exist inside this REIT. So that's what we talk about, why you may be able to make more money as an individual real estate purchase versus this. At the end of the day, invest in REITs and own much more. Okay, so this goes back down to, if you are a person that just loves the stock market and put money into the S&P every single year since 1980 without any kind of step back, without any kind of drama, you just did it religiously, well, if you did the same thing with REITs, you'd be real happy right now, based on what we talked about. So at the end of the day, if we look at equities, REITs, commodities, and cash, and we have a pie chart, we were just sharing with you how you diversify not only within and amongst asset classes, but then once you're in that asset class, how you go deep and narrow. And at the end of the day, I talk about it often, it goes down to investment philosophy. It goes down to truly understanding exactly what your core values are. Go ahead and click that link below. We'll spend some time with you, get an idea of what your goals and objectives are. I'm not going to say, hey, send everything over. My team's going to look at it and tell you all the things you did wrong. We're going to say, hey, where do you want to see yourself in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? They're getting loud out there because they're ready for me. We're going to say, where do you want to see yourself in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? And then be able to re-engineer that on a year-to-year basis based on your income and your cash flow. Thanks for checking us out. And every day we're dropping new content. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking it out. I got to run, I'm going to jump on stage right now. Chris Crone gives me that gift all the time. I really appreciate the fact that you subscribe. Go ahead and continue to like. Check out this next video. We're about to go on stage as well.